Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is how to ruin the patient experience. And I'm going to explain a visit that I had recently with an orthopedic surgeon for my left shoulder. Now, I've been seeing a physiotherapist for a long period of time, getting treatment on it. He's explained everything about my shoulder. We narrowed down exactly what the problem was. So, of course, had to go to my GP, and the GP would then did the referral to a local orthopedic surgeon. So I thought, I could be looking at surgery. I'm not quite sure. So went and saw the local guy for now. Point out my left shoulder. It's important to remember that it was my left shoulder. And of course, I've made the appointment, and I also had to get an MRI done beforehand. So he has all that information. Has a referral from a GP, has my MRI results. Prior to the appointment, there was no pre-appointment information provided to me. Nothing. Not a single thing was actually sent to me. Fortunately, I knew exactly where the building was because I've driven past it hundreds of times over the years. As I pulled up towards the building, I'm thinking, do I park out in the street or do they have a car park out the back of the building? So I turned in to go to the car park. Now, I didn't realize by the time I got down there was one spot, but I realized also it was a staff park. It wasn't for patients. So anyway, I parked there anyway. I won't tell them that. And it was a really tight fit. I really had to squeeze my car in, and it was difficult to get out, which meant all the parking therefore was out in the street. Now, I wish I'd been told this beforehand because I would have turned up a lot earlier because there were no parks out the front of the building, which meant I would have had to park further down a street and then have to walk up. But I was rushed, which is why I went straight into their car park. So the car parking situation is terrible. And it'd be nice for a pre-appointment warning to be told, oh, by the way, just let you know, there's no car parking on site. You have to park out in the street, and the parking is very limited. So you may have to park a distance and actually walk to us. Fortunately, it's your shoulder, it's not your foot, so you should be able to walk. It's not a problem. Anyway, I got in there. It's quite a large clinic, quite a large waiting room. Now, I was fortunate I was the only person in there, which was great. So the waiting time was really good. Didn't have to wait too long at all. But I just kept looking around going, well, if this place actually had everybody in here, there was probably about 25 seats, where were these people all going to park? I have no idea. Anyway, not my problem. The orthopedic surgeon comes out. He's polite enough. Hey, Tyson, how you doing? I'm doctor. I won't say his name. He looked a little scruffy, like when someone's overdue for a haircut, where it's puffing out at the sides and their hair on their neck is starting to build up probably onto the hair of their back. You're thinking, probably needs a good haircut. That was my first opinion. And then I looked at how he was dressed. He had a polo shirt on, which was nice to see a casual shirt for a change. But this polo shirt, its use by date was past. It's been worn a lot. It's probably nice when he first got it, but it looked pretty old. Should have been replaced. Had long pants on and he had joggers on. When I looked at his joggers, because that's something we're going to do, they were dirty. They were old and they were dirty joggers. I'm thinking, well, this is not a really good representation of who you are as an orthopedic surgeon. Old shirt, old worn out joggers. I'm thinking, yeah, what's going on here? Anyway, so I sit down with him and he said, okay, so you hear about your right shoulder. I said, no, it's my left shoulder. Oh, right. Okay. So then he starts looking at the notes and he goes, yeah, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on? I said, well, there should be a referral from the doctor. There should be a report from the radiologist. There should be an MRI there. He goes, oh, okay, I'll just have a look. He looks at, oh, yeah, here it is. And he starts looking through it all. I'm thinking, okay, so there was no preparation done. He didn't seem interested in me being there. I don't know, it could be just his personality, but he just did not seem interested in that particular visit. And I said, do you want to actually have a look at it? Do you want to examine it? He goes, yeah, it's probably a good idea. So we get up, go to area. I said, do you want me to take my shirt off? He goes, no, not necessary. Okay, that's interesting. So then he proceeds to grab my right shoulder. I said, that's my left shoulder. Oh yeah, left shoulder. Does a few tests, does a couple of things. At no stage did he visually actually look at my shoulder. Now, maybe you don't have to. Maybe it's one of those things like as a podiatrist, maybe we do a whole examination and tell the patient, don't take your socks off. We'll just feel over the top of your sock. That sort of just seemed odd. And like I said, he didn't really seem interested about me being there. And when we sat back down, and I said to him, I think it's my AC joint. I think cortisone injection could be helpful. I said this earlier on. Then we sat down, he said, yeah, probably it's your AC joint, it's arthritic, and a cortisone injection, and we'll test it and do these other tests. And so he writes a referral to get the cortisone injection. But my problem with this whole thing was at no stage did he give me any explanation of my shoulder. Now, fortunately, like I mentioned, I'd been in the physio numerous times before that. The physio had explained everything to me. He'd shown me the whole anatomy of the shoulder and what was going on. So I had a fair understanding of what was happening. But if I had been a layperson that had absolutely no idea, I have no idea what a shoulder even looks like inside, he did not give me one bit of explanation of what even an AC joint was. Now, I didn't put down that I was a podiatrist or that I had any background at all, though I even understood anatomy. I didn't mention that I'd been a physio a lot of times. And it was one of those things. I walked out of there and he said, I'll see you in 6 weeks after the cortisone injection. I'm going, I don't have confidence in this person taking a knife to my shoulder. That's just how I felt. I could be wrong. He could be the best orthopedic surgeon going around, but my confidence in him based on presentation, based on the examination, based on his enthusiasm and lack of explanation on what was happening, it left me really deflated. And it just, to me, it pinpointed that whenever you have a patient in your clinic, straight away, they are judging how you look, what your presentation, when you meet them, they're judging the information that you give them. Do you care? Are you enthusiastic about what you're doing? If none of these things are actually happening, the patient starts to lose confidence in you, just like I did with this orthopedic surgeon. And I don't think it matters what profession you're in. If you're going to see someone who you think is a professional, you expect to be just have things explained to you in a proper sort of format. So in the end, I think I was in there maybe 8 minutes and it was $250. And I'm thinking, it wasn't really the time that I was with him, and it wasn't the money that I spent that annoyed me. It was the just lack of everything that went with that visit. So if you're doing this with your patients, just sit back and think, are you giving them the care and attention that they need? Are you showing the enthusiasm? The people that work with you, if you've got people working for you, explain this to them. They need to, one, look the part. They need to show enthusiasm. They need to explain things in detail to the patient. Don't assume, even if you had someone who was a physiotherapist or a doctor, could be an orthopedic surgeon. If they've got a problem, they've come into your clinic, explain the problem to them. And if you have to go and grab a foot model and show them exactly what's happening, even though I understand all this, explain it to them anyway, because if you should do it with every patient. Forget about what you think they know. I've had general practitioners in my clinic who I worked out over the years that they knew very little about the anatomy of the foot, the function of the foot, understood nothing about biomechanics. So if you just assume they knew everything, you could actually treat them the same way. And they could walk out of your clinic thinking, this podiatrist didn't really communicate very well. So that is the idea and the message behind this video is just care. Actually show that you care, communicate with the patients, explain things properly, and you will have them coming back. And if you're not a podiatrist and you're in some other business, just take this all on board. A little bit extra time and effort, a little bit extra explanation, a little bit more care, and present well, I think is really important. Okay, hope you get something from that. And if you're enjoying these videos, please tell your friends these videos exist. And if you really like this video, give it a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.